course violins, we're working on Burst. Burst with an exclamation point. This is a real exciting song, you guys. It's stinking fast. Have you checked out this tempo? 144. Bom, 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 bom. Wow, it's quick. It's alright, you'll be fine. Okay, so let's look at the key signature. We always look at that first. F sharp, high 2 on the D string. C sharp, high 2 on the A string. Be careful of your C sharps. You're probably used to, at this point, playing some C sharps, some C naturals. You get to the A string and you're like, I'm not really sure if it's a high 2 or it's a low 2. Maybe I'll just put it right in the middle. No, don't put it in the middle. There's no note in the middle. It's either a low 2 touching 1 or a high 2 touching 3. In this case, high 2 touching 3. Grab your pencil right now in measure 33. If you're playing the top part of the divisi, as in if you're on the outside of your stand, first chair, third chair, fifth chair, you're playing a C sharp there. Will you mark high 2? I'm scared to death that you're going to miss it. I think that's all as far as scary notes, but I think that's very important. I would mark that. Next thing I want to talk about is your fourth finger. Do you hate it? Do you feel like it's weak? You're who I'm talking to then. I need you to use it more. It won't get any stronger on its own. I promise you have to use it. Use it or lose it. Stretch, stretch, stretch for that tape. Use it, use it, abuse it. Listen to the first measure. What? She's going to make us play a 4 there? I was going to play an open. I want you to use a 4 there. Here's my rule. My rule is play a 4 when you can stay on the same string. Don't cross over just for an open if you're going to come right back to that string, which this is the case in measure 1. If you played an open, you'd come right back to that string. That's crazy talk, you guys. String crossings take longer than putting your fourth finger down. Well, when your fourth finger is getting good. I promise your fourth finger will get better the more you use it. So, I'm going to tell you a lot of spots in this song to write fourth finger in. First one, measure 1, you heard it. Straight from the horse's mouth. The last note of measure 1, I want fourth finger. Keep your pencil. Measure 4. If you get a little confused on the G string, that's a high 2. I would write high 2. Measure 5. This is the last measure of the line. Guess what the last note is? It's an A. What do you think I want? Your fourth finger. I want your fourth finger on that. No, mark it. Fourth finger. Okay, measure 6 is a good example of where you can pick whether you use open or 4. Because you're coming from the A string, but you're going to go to the D string, and the A is right in the middle. So listen to measure 6. You can use an open there. If you want to use a 4, fine. If you want to get more exercise on that fourth finger, go for it. If you're comfortable with the open, that's fine. So there are going to be a lot of spots in this song where I tell you use your 4, and there are going to be a lot where I don't say anything, or I say open is fine, and that's where I'm going to leave it up to you. Okay, so I want to play from measure 1 to measure 9 for you at the tempo that they ultimately want this to go. Don't practice it this fast yet. You're going to work up to this. I just want you to listen. 1, 2, ready, go. Sorry about that squeak in the second note. I was trying to be forte. Speaking of forte, though, I wanted to talk about that. I totally forgot. Look at your bow. Set it on the D string. How are we going to get a forte? We're going to come close to the bridge. We're going to press with our first finger, and we're going to have all the hair on our string. Right? All of it. So it's called flat hair. If we look at our bow hair on the string, that's called our point of contact. It's a really important thing to know, a point of contact. That's where our sound is coming from. If you pull your bow too fast, it might be a little out of control or squeak or something. If you pull it too slow, it might get that sound. So you're going to have to experiment with how fast or slow you pull your bow to get a clear sound. Okay, so then measure 9, you'll be fine. Measure 10, fourth finger. Grabbing my pencil right now, I'm writing with fourth finger, right? Fourth fingers for those E's. Listen to measure 9 and 10. If you play that open, really, wow, it's just in your face, right? It's just really, really loud. Okay, so then measure 11, you can use opens, it's fine with me. Blah, blah, blah. Measure 13. This is just like the beginning. What do you think I want the last note to be? An open A or a fourth finger? Correct, the fourth finger. Measure 15. Think I want an open E or a fourth finger? Look closely. I want a fourth finger so you can stay on the A string. Measure 16, up to you. They're accents, so the open E might be good because it sticks out a lot. It's very loud, but you can play your fourth finger if you want. I'm going to play 13 to 17 for you. 1, 2, here I go. Okay, so then look at measure 17. Mezzo piano. All of a sudden, we're a lot softer. We were forte in the beginning. Now we're a lot softer. What do we do with our bow to play softer? Well, we just talked about how to play loud, so we're going to do the opposite. We're going to come closer to the fingerboard, tilt the bow a little bit with the hair toward our face. Maybe you're playing with, 10 hairs. And you're going to be really, really gentle with this first finger. Listen to measure 17. I'm going to start it on a 4, just for kicks. So it was a little bit softer, right? Again, experiment with your bow speed. If it's too slow, if it's too fast, it might slide around a little bit unless it's perfectly straight. Then we go on to divisi. Look at measure 24. If you're on the top, I might circle my top notes or highlight them. If you're on the bottom, open E is fine. The note before measure 24, as in the last note of measure 23, I actually want that to be an open. I don't want you to have to go from a 4 and maybe cross 2 strings to get to that E string. So be careful of that, especially if you're on the top part. Make sure you play an open A so that you can get to the F sharp first finger at 24. Measure 25, you do not play both notes. This is divisi. Again, outside players play the top, inside players play the bottom. 29, same as that beginning theme that we have. Guess what I won in the last note of measure 29, a fourth finger. Measure 31, guess what I want for the second note, the E, fourth finger. Measure 32, up to you. I'm going to leave that up to you. I would definitely play the second note of measure 32 with the fourth finger though, because it's mezzo piano. The fourth finger on the A string is a lot more soft, it's muted, rather than the open E. So you could play like open E at measure 32, the half note, but then I would definitely go to a 4 for the mezzo piano. Then it has the word legato underneath. Make sure you're playing this very smooth. And then measure 33 is where we marked that high 2 if you're playing the top part. Will you play with me from measure 29 to the end of the line? 29 to the end of the line. Not too fast. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Okay, did you get the fourth fingers? Did you get the mezzo piano? Did you get the C sharp high 2 on measure 33 if you're playing the top part? If not, spend some time on this line. This is a really, really important line. There's a lot going on here. Measure 36. The last note of that measure, if you're playing the top part, I want you to use 4. Measure 42. It's marked 4. Hey, thanks. That was like, there's no guesswork in that one. So they really want this to be a fourth finger. Use it. I'm going to play from 41 to the end for you. Listen to my dynamics, and I'm going to use a lot of fourth fingers. Here I go. 1, 2, 3, 4. At the end there. Accents, forte, let her rip, Tater Chip. Really have fun at the end. Just go for it. Measure 47. Got to work up to the forte, so leave plenty of room to do that. I had a lift bow that caught me off guard. Where was it? I know it was measure 44. No, was it? Yes, it was. Measure 44. Try with me from measure 41 through 47. Slowly. 1, 2, ready. Go. make sure you get that lift. Is it more important to be on time for measure 45 and maybe cheat the last note of measure 44 a tiny bit to get that lift? Or is it more important to hold 44 out the full 2 beats, this is the last half that I'm talking about, and then lift and possibly be late for 45? Which do you think would be preferred? It's preferred that we actually cheat the half note a tiny bit, just a tiny bit, so we can get that lift. The next note being on time is always the most important thing. So remember that rule of thumb, the next note being on time. So that means you do what you need to do with the lift. You cheat that note as much as you need to in order to get that lift. Try not to cheat it very much though. You don't want it to sound like there's a big rest right there. Do you have any questions? At the very end, by the way, these accents forte, I would knock them up to like fortissimo. You guys be mean. If you bump other strings, that's okay. You're being ruthless here. You're screaming at the top of your lungs. It's okay for your voice to crack. You know what I mean? So don't be too paranoid there, and don't play too softly. Just tear it up. Okay, hopefully you don't have any questions. If you do, please email me. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you. Good luck.